Memorias.
The Memoirs.
We have come together to share with you our memoirs.
Or a version of them based on our perspectives.
Memorias.
Our memories written down.
Rehearsed.
Performed.
Set before an audience so we could connect.
Relate.
Empathize.
Although our memoir can be understood to be a factual account of the happenings of our lives,
we have often taken poetic license to better tell our stories.
Through this process, we have become sisters.
I am Miguel from Mapton.
And brothers.
I am Joanna from Mapton.
Students by choice.
I am Haley from Warden.
Teachers by opportunity.
I am Sergio from Everett.
Storytellers by necessity.
I am Tony from Mapton.
Las Memorias.
I am San Juanita from Mapton.
Our memoirs. Please lend us your ears.
This is Miguel from Mapton. He is the example for his younger sister. His good grades in school are motivated by being the example for his little sister. His manners and respect are motivated by being the example for his little sister. His positive attitude, his drive to his goals, his kindness, all motivated by being the big brother to his little sister. Isn't what being a man is all about? Selflessness, a good word to describe him. Miguel?
You will never see me act in a negative way. Why? Because she could be watching. My little sis could be around the corner, spying on something I do. I don't want her to take away any bad examples. That's one of the things I love about our culture. We're family. We need to support each other by being good brothers, good sisters, good parents, good neighbors. I know she's there, watching me, even when I can't see her. She's there to see me when I try my best at soccer. I know now that when she picks up a ball, she will try her best too. I know she's there to see me when I volunteer. She sees me do that and wants to follow. It will make her better, just as it made me better. I know that if I ever did something like smoked or took drugs, she would be there to see me. She'd be just like Big Brother and do the same. I do not want that for her, and I don't want that for me. I guess we make each other better.
He's my example.
And she's the reason for me to be an example. It's comforting to know that my sister's watching. Be an example. This is Joanna from Mapton. She is the captain of the cheer team and has a passion for dance. She is there for her team and her family whenever anyone needs help. When her parents are gone, she is like a mother to her little brother. She is proud to help whenever she can, whether it be at school, the community, or at home with her family. It can be tough sometimes though, especially when someone you love raises a hand against you. Joanna?
Abuse is unacceptable. Abuse cannot be tolerated in any of us. It doesn't have anything to do with cultural lines or gender. Abuse is unacceptable. We cannot tolerate someone to abuse us. When someone raises a hand to you or sends vile words your way, you say no. I do not deserve this. No one deserves this. We cannot tolerate someone witness to abuse another. They are brothers and sisters, friends and acquaintances, and we say no. They do not deserve this. No one deserves this. We cannot tolerate to cause abuse. My hands and words should be used to heal rather than harm, to embrace rather than push, to honor, to lift, never to demean. Say it to yourself. I am better than this. They do not deserve the hurt I'm giving them. It's a cycle that must be broken.
This is Haley from Warden. She recently learned something new about herself. She learned she was both interested in music and writing. But the cool thing is, she likes to write music, rhymes you can rap. She would go outside and practice, getting lost in her beats for hours. Do you think she might give us a rhyme? Let's ask her.
Being judged by the world, still holding my pride. Standing here, have Latina with my mom by my side. I was born dark skinned, always been different. Standing here, brown and gifted.
Even though this was relatively new to Haley, she was always open to try new things that challenge her. Haley is no stranger to the challenges that present us in life. Haley?
I was raised by my dad, who's Hispanic, and my mom, who's Caucasian. I was born with dark skin, but growing up, I did not learn Spanish. I understand more now as a teen, but not enough to have conversations. I feel that because of my skin color, many people assume that either I speak Spanish or I only speak Spanish. They talk to me as if I'm from another world. They speak to me in
super slow
and super loud English, as if the volume would have helped. I don't get offended though, because I am proud of my family and where I come from. If I were to give a piece of advice, it would be that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Individuals should not judge or be judged by society based on their looks and skin color.
This is Sergio from Everett. He's a leader in his school and a teacher on the soccer pitch. He has been a member for the executive council for the Latin Image Club at his school and has worked hard to help the Latin community. One of his greatest successes was hosting a Latin family night for which about 300 parents and students from 3 different school districts gathered together. This night offered a lot of things for these families, including teaching the parents about the resources in the school, introducing them to faculty members, as well as introducing them to lawyers willing to do pro bono work for deferred action applications. Because of that night, there was an increase of parent involvement at the school, which spelled success for the students. There was a pretty big reason why Sergio was so passionate about this. Sergio?
I was 9 years old when my father was arrested and deported back to Mexico. Even though I was only 9, I felt like I had to become the man of the family and take responsibility for my mother and my 2 younger sisters. I always wanted to be grown up, but now I felt if I was forced to grow up. No one at that age should feel the weight of the world on their shoulders like I did. When my dad was not with us, I felt powerless. During that time, I never thought I lived up to the title as the man of the house. My mother, my sisters, and I had to rent a room. That never lasted though. Eventually, we had to rent another room. Sometimes in a month, sometimes a week, sometimes a mere day. How can we expect so much out of someone so little? How can we stand to see people's families get broken apart without the thought of who really suffers? I can now be the man my mother always said I was. I can help others, I can care for my family, I can control my own destiny.
This is Jose, but he likes to be called Tony. He is from Mapton. He is a good student, an athlete, and a leader. He gets a lot of his leadership skills by being the eldest of his 3 brothers. He sets an example for his other brothers and helps his mom with his newborn sibling. He's a 4-sport athlete, including soccer, football, he wrestles, and plays basketball. With all his responsibilities, including his family, sports, and school, he has found the secret to success: hard work. Tony?
My short-term goal is to graduate from high school. By accomplishing this, I'll be the first person in my family to graduate. I want to be able to say that for my mother, for my brothers, and for myself, I made it. I have 2 more years left, and I'll make the most of it through the hard work of getting good grades, as well as passing all those state tests. The only person responsible for me to graduate is me. I know there will be some obstacles in my path along the way, but I'm up for the challenge. I move on to my long-term goal. I'm not gonna stop at high school. I'm going to college as well. It's never too early to start looking forward in life and see what the future may have in store for us. We can't give up. There's just too much life to live. College might be expensive, but there are lots of scholarships out there. I just need to start working hard so I can get them in 2 years. I know it may be a long time from now, but I've set my goals for the future, my family, my life. It's my responsibility to make it come true. This is San Juanita from Mapton. She's a crazy, loud, and happy girl who strives to know both her strengths and her flaws. She is a runner who used to hate running, but found that if she would try new things, she would like them. She tries her best to be her best and knows when she hasn't met her own standards. San Juanita.
The most significant challenge for me this past year was realizing that I wasn't living up to my potential. During the school year, I've been slacking off, just lazy. As a result, I was failing 4 of my classes. I don't know why I did it. I never thought of myself as a slacker, but it was what it was, and I knew I couldn't fail those classes. It was going to be a huge challenge for me to get my failing grades up before the school year ended. What would my parents do? What would my parents think of me? I knew I had to do something. I got help from my teachers and worked extra hard and ended up not failing those classes. But it should have never gotten to that point. I learned that I can't put myself in that situation or just get by. It's not me. Next time, I need to focus and keep the distractions away in order to keep the promises I make myself.
I'm Miguel from Mapton.
I am Joanna from Mapton.
I am Haley from Warden.
I'm Sergio from Everett.
I'm Tony from Mapton.
I am San Juanita from Mapton.
These are just a few.
Memories. We share them with you.
I am Michael from Mapton.
A family.
I am Jess from Mapton.
Of our goals.
I'm Myrna from Everett.
Of self-realization.
I am Christian from Everett.
Of determination.
I am Levi from Warden.
Of abuse.
I am George from Mapton.
Of our culture.
I am Christian from Everett.
We are here to share.
I am Addie from Warden.
So we can learn.
So we can connect.
This is Michael from Mapton, and he does a lot. Not only is he an ASB officer, but he does FFA and track as well. Regardless of whether he does good or bad or has an injury, he listens to his coaches. He tries hard at everything that he does, and one day will find himself in college. Michael?
I guess I started track because my uncle ran track when he was in high school. He was really good. So since my uncle did it, I thought I'd give it a try. I loved it. In middle school, I didn't really try very hard. I took the easy paths and only did what I was asked in practices. By the time I got to high school though, I found I'd be much better at what I did if I created goals for myself. I'd write down my times for practice and set those times as my times to beat. Once I beat that goal, a new one was set for me to work hard to try to beat. I might not have faced many challenges yet in life, so I'll make sure I interpret myself as well as I can by challenging myself every day. This is Jess from Mapton. Jess and I do have a lot in common. She too has done ASB and FFA, but instead of track, she did volleyball and wrestled. She likes to help others, even if it means that she doesn't get to help herself as much. She's learned a lot from life and living, but some things are still hard to understand. Jess?
Life isn't fair. People say it all the time. But sometimes the unfairness of life can be cruel. Kids shouldn't get cancer. My good friend Abby got sick in her junior year of high school. She's a couple years older than me, and I always looked up to her when she played sports. She was just talented and happy and genuine. She was so healthy when she got sick too, but she fought, and she beat it. Sometimes though, life doesn't reward hard work and determination. It isn't always fair to good people. As a testament to how unfair and cruel life can be, she relapsed. Now, she's back in Seattle, dealing with the chemotherapy, and eventually might have to have another bone marrow transplant. How unfair is that? There's hope though. If there's one thing I know about Abby, it's that she's tough, and she'll fight. No matter how unfair life gets, she won't give up, and I will support her in all she has to go through.
This is Myrna from Everett. She's a strong Latina leader, having gone to the La Cima leadership program. She learned that sometimes you have to go outside of your comfort zone to truly understand what a leader should be and gain life's opportunities. All 4 years of high school, she was involved in the Latin Image Club, as well as ELLA, Educando las Latinas Ahora. With these skills and responsibilities, she found the power in empowering other girls in the community. Myrna makes it look easy, but nothing comes easy for her. Myrna?
He patiently sat there while my mom tried to explain what the doctors had said. Her eyes overflowing with tears, and her breath seemed to skip. According to all the tests, one of the most vital organs in his body was failing him, and no one knew why. His lungs were weakening, affecting the innermost coils of his body. He was strong once, my dad, but now all I saw was a fragile husk withering. Even though he was sick, he still smiled back at me. My father's sickness took me by surprise. I felt guilty for not have noticing before. He had always been a hard worker and instilled his work ethic into my sisters and I. He made that hard work look simple too. Yet, there he was, sick. He never gave up though. He cleared stalls, groomed horses, and bucked bales of hay. But his breathing got heavier every day. His weakness was weakening me, it seemed. I looked at my sisters though, and they looked at me the way I looked at my father. I knew I could not show weakness. They needed strength, and I needed to give that to them. I knew all my parents wanted was for my sisters and I to be successful, to graduate high school, not to fail, not to let them down. I've been through the bad. I think it's time for the great. This is Christian from Everett. He too is a leader in his community, being involved with the Latin Image Club. He and the executives of the club would spend their extra hours tutoring elementary school students with their studies. He's an avid soccer player and will soon be taking his talent and leadership skills to college. Some roads are harder and darker than others, but Christian rose above it all to stand before you today. Christian.
I've always loved my brother. I look up to him. I miss him. He always said it was our mom's fault for leaving them in Honduras. My mom brought him to the United States when he was 13, but he quickly started doing things behind her back. I started not to be able to trust him. I understood his drinking was a way to take out his bitterness at times. I always told him not to blame mom, but he didn't listen. He just got angrier and angrier. She came here to better us, to better our family. He stopped going to school and eventually dropped out. Yet I still looked up to him like a father. He is my brother, but he is stuck in what was and what could have been. So he left. It's been years since I've seen him, and I miss him more than you can know. He is stuck, and I need to not follow his examples. I now know why my mom has pushed me to do well academically. I need to be what my brother could have been and what I should be. One day, I will have my brother back by my side.
This is Levi from Warden. You might think you'd know Levi just by her demeanor, but you'd be wrong. She's quiet at first, but when she gives a presentation or speaks in front of an audience, you'd hear her speaking with a loud, clear, crowd-stopping voice. She's brave, smart, and she will surprise you with her wit. She has a lot of memories to share, but the one she will isn't quite a memory yet. Levi?
In the United States, about 50% of marriages end in divorce. Those without kids are the lucky ones. When kids are involved, they usually jump from parent to parent. Sometimes this works, and sometimes it does damage. Siblings get separated, fights happen, and scars can be left so deep, it takes years for them to heal. One moment stands out vividly in my mind, the moment I made my decision on where I stood with this. I waited for the ring. I kept repeating to myself, please don't pick up, please don't pick up. Just be brave. I counted softly. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3. Not too many. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe I shouldn't make this decision. Then click. And even though my voice was shaking, I knew exactly where I stood. Papi, I'm not going back. After that, everything was a mess. I had to face cops, courts, lawyers, and it all just seemed so pointless. For almost 6 months. I didn't talk to my dad, and it seemed like I'd lost my sister. It felt like I'd been disowned. Recently, we started talking a little bit again. But it's because I put aside my anger, my sadness, and my pride. Guess I finally realized family's just a little bit more important. It's all not easy. It's all not over. Sometimes, I still think that they're mad at me, even though my better judgment would tell me I'm wrong. I've learned from it. I am learning from it. Even when you get knocked down, even if it's by your family, you've got to get back up and keep your head held high. This is George from Mapton. He's kind, respectful, and quite the dancer himself. When you first meet George, he's quiet and unassuming. But once you actually get to know him, he's funny and insightful. He's proud of his culture. Where other people don't seem to care about the traditions withheld in the culture, George does. He cares about their traditions and his own. George?
Lately, I have noticed that our generation is full of people that don't examine who they are or the roots of where they came from. We lose bits by bits as years pass by. I'd like to see people putting down their technology and really get to know their grandparents, their neighbors, and their community. When I see the abundance of different cultures within our community, I thought they'd interact more. My town might be small compared to others, but we used to do things as a group that would celebrate our diversities. I don't see that happening as much anymore. I love the celebrations I've seen when I was little or in other bigger towns, but I can honestly say it does not happen enough. If we got together to celebrate these differences, we'd also see how much we have in common. We are one community, whether you see it as a town, or a state, or a world.
This is Christian from Everett. He demonstrates his leadership skills in school, sports, and while he is at work. In school, he is an executive member of the Latin Image Club and helps young Latino students like himself continue on in school. At soccer, he is a captain, nominated by his coach, for both his talent at the game as well as how he handles communicating with the junior members on his team. At work, he's begun manager's classes and helps the current manager train new employees. It isn't easy juggling school, sports, and work, But it's even more difficult when you take upon yourself the mantle of responsibility in these as well. He wouldn't be who he is today, though, without the love and respect of his mother. Christian?
Left me alone because you cared for me, and I appreciate how you raised me and all the extra love that you gave me. Sitting here, bumping Tupac, all I can feel are the 2,000-watt speakers reverberating bass into the inner coils of my body.
Thinking,
Remembering, mere echoes of her in a past too far away. I can't help but think of all the pain I caused her, all the problems I put her through. She worked 3 jobs, and all I gave her were headaches. But through it all,
there she was,
standing by my side. She's my mentor,
my counselor,
my doctor. She's my best friend. She's my mother.
She saved us, my sister and I. She moved us from California to Washington to escape a life that would have surely left my sister or myself, both of us, dead or in jail. She took a leap of faith,
leaving with nothing, going to nothing,
just so that we could have the opportunity to be who we always had the potential to be. A potential my sister and I never knew we had.
Through it all, she stood by my side. I strive to be a better man, as she is the one who helped build me up. My confidence.
My character.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't still be in school. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be captain of the soccer team.
If it wasn't for her, I would have never found myself.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be standing here,
bumping Tupac.
This is Addie from Warden. She's known as the go-to person. Whenever you need someone who's reliable and that you can trust, go to Addie. She's a role model to an entire generation of Latina students. She's a problem solver, a leader, and sure to make her mark on this world. She's Latina herself, proud of her traditions, and proud of her history. Addie?
I see our culture as viewed by other cultures 2 ways. On one hand, it's neat to see how curious they are. Many of our parties, festivals, and get-togethers are full of joy and fun. They're interested. They want to peek around the curtains and perceive barriers that separate us. They want to join, and we want to welcome, because it is a rich tradition filled with good food and good family. It's a community that shares in each other's successes and comforts in each other's sorrows. Not so dissimilar to theirs, most likely, but then there's the other way. Eyes that look at us with suspicion, judgmental, rude, racist. Some people may think that we are an embarrassment, and I should be ashamed of where I come from. Some claim that Hispanics are a waste and don't deserve the same rights as others. It's a view altered by the perception that there truly is a barrier between us. They want to be more versed in that wall that separates us. I say no. Tear those barriers down. I love my culture as you love yours, and in the end, we'll find more in common with each other than we have differences.
I'm Michael from Appton.
I'm Jess from Appton.
I'm Myrna from Everett.
I'm Christian from Everett.
I'm Levi from Warden.
I am George from Appton.
I am Christian from Everett.
I am Addie from Warden.
These are our memoirs.
Our memories.
That we share with you.
Of our broken families.
Of being left out.
Of community.
Of mothers.
Of similarities.
Of goals.
I am Jose from Appton.
Of friends.
I am Vanessa from Appton.
Of fathers.
I'm Roberto from Everett.
Our memoirs.
I am Bailey from Pateras.
Memorias.
I'm Alex from Appton.
So we can grow.
I am Tracy from Appton.
So we can lead.
So we can connect. This is Jose from Appton. His friends call him Cruz. He's got orgullo. In English, it means pride. He takes pride in his family, pride in his culture, and pride when he's on the pitch, dribbling the soccer ball down to score a goal. He has come to embrace and understand both his cultures, the one he lives in as American, as well as the one from his roots, Mexican. He's Mexican-American, bilingual, and hardworking. Curious and ambitious, full of pride for who he is. Cruz.
He was bullied in elementary school. He was bullied to the point where he just didn't want to go to school anymore. Why was he bullied? He loved food and ate as much as he could. He was chubby. It is ingrained in his culture to eat all these yummy foods. He just wanted it to stop. The bullying, the harassing, the bad feeling he would get every night when he didn't think it was worth anything. But sometimes, when enough is just about enough, the right thing comes along at the right time. This boy found soccer. The boy played, and through soccer, found other sports as well. Football, basketball, wrestling. All of a sudden, the boy stopped hearing those pointed barbs, insults. He looked down, and he wasn't chubby anymore. But good things don't always last. One day, this boy got injured. How could this happen to me? He said. I've worked so hard, and all those voices that spouted such negativity have gone away. I don't want them again. There he was, a boy with a broken back, destined to be chubby again. And now, he was going to be crippled. The doctors told him, "You're never going to play sports again." But the boy, determined, said,
No, I do not accept that.
"I'm too strong and too determined to let what I've worked so hard for slip away." Through hard work and therapy, the boy mended his back. He tempered his determination. His hard work paid off. He now, once again, enjoys the sport he loves. And all those voices that once put him down have been silenced forever. He is deaf to them. You see, that boy was me. I overcame these obstacles. These obstacles were meant to stop me, but they only made me stronger. Eminem has a lyric that has always stuck with me. And whenever I feel a challenge or drag me down, I listen to the words of the beat. If you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Capture the moment. Don't let it slip. This is Vanessa from Mapton. Vanessa has some lofty goals that not only include getting her driver's license and graduating high school, but undertaking a difficult major when she gets to college. Medical doctors have it easy in college compared to a vet, where a doctor only has to memorize one anatomy, a vet has to memorize dozens. Where a doctor might be told it hurts here when I do this, a vet has to read body language. Vanessa's going to be great, you see. She's a problem solver. For her, it's about the solutions and not dwelling in the drama. She's a fixer, not a complainer. Vanessa?
It would be pretty easy to get stuck complaining about all the wrongs we suffer in life. Life isn't fair, or what I mean, it's even worse when the wrongs change you. You become a wrong for another. That happened to me once, until I opened my eyes. I'd been the victim of bullying. It was the worst thing I've ever felt. Sad, alone, scared. It was too much for me to burden. I had my guard up every day. Walls that would prevent anyone from ever getting close to me. One day I found that if I became the aggressor, the bully, that all that sadness would be channeled away from me. It was the wrong choice. It may sound weird for you to hear me say this, but I'm glad I had that experience. I'm glad I learned that lesson so young. The hurt I saw in others' eyes was a reflection of my own. It made me feel worse. I was them once, and I knew that pain. I was the cause. I shouldn't be creating that pain. I should be healing it. I looked deep within myself, and I saw the part of me who wanted to be a healer slip away. By becoming what I hated, I was losing myself. The goodness I created needed to stop, and I needed to find who I was again. Treat others the way I wanted to be treated. I would say to myself, have the courage to stand up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. Don't knock them down.
This is Roberto from Everett. He is a proud Latino who has done some good work as a leader in his community as well as his school.
He has been an active member in the Latin Image Club, his leadership class, as well as the Seagull Buddies program. In the Seagull Buddies program, Roberto tutored young Hispanic students from his elementary school. He gave them the opportunity to see that even someone as talented as himself at sports could, or rather should, be good in school as well. The kids looked up to him both literally and figuratively, and I'm sure he's changed their lives for the better. Roberto?
As I walked through the door of my grandparents' house, I said hi, ate some food, and then went to the couch to go watch some TV and relax. This was something I did every day. It was a normal day. But sometimes, one day can change what normal is for the rest of your life. As I've been watching TV, oblivious to anything different, my father walked into the room, and he said there was something he needed to tell me, and that I needed to take it seriously. He said Grandpa has terminal stomach cancer, and only has 3 months left to live. These are the last 3 months he had left with him. The last 3 months? How could that be? That day, I had walked into my grandfather's house, a carefree, 17-year-old kid, and walked out with the burden of an old man. Stress, responsibility. What was I gonna do? Every day, another page, another day was gone. 2 months, 1 month, 1 week. Was it going to be a day? No. Tomorrow? I vowed to make every day count, but what I didn't know is how time had changed me, more than I'd ever expected. I did lose my abuelito, the man I had wanted to most be like. But through the tough time, he gave me strength. Strength that I will not easily give up. He taught me how to be a man. His wise words still stay with me, just as I still feel his spirit beside me, supporting me, just as they did in life. We all have dreams, but the difference is that some people are willing to do anything for that dream. I am ready for that, to give myself to my future. I am ready to make my grandfather proud by achieving my dreams and discovering my personal greatness. This is Bailey from Pateras. On top of being an honor student, she is also a singer. She was introduced to music at a very young age. Both her grandmother and father used to sing to her. She loved it so much, her grandmother got her a karaoke machine, and they would sing anytime she would visit. She has recently started writing her own songs by combining her love of poetry with her love of music. Maybe one day, it'll be her voice on the radio, and her songs that are sung to children by their parents. One thing that is for certain about Bailey is that she is no stranger to being brave. It takes bravery to stand in front of a group of strangers and sing or tell stories, but it takes a whole new level of bravery to face an evil act and come out with strength. Bailey?
There he was. I was awoken by the sound of my bedroom door opening. "Bailey, can I sleep here tonight?" he said. "No," I said. I was only 5, and I thought he was joking. My mom's boyfriend started walking over to me, and I asked him to stop. He didn't. It felt like an eternity. I tried to scream, but I was paralyzed in fear. He did to me what no one should ever have to go through. I don't want to go back to there, that memory, but I know if I keep it here, it will linger and fester. I also know that without speaking, no one can learn. When it was over, I ran to the bathroom and locked the door. When I felt like he was gone, I ran to my mom's room and laid down next to her, still scared. When finally she woke, I told her what had happened. From that point on, it was a blur. My dad had rushed in from Seattle. The cops had come. Questions and questions and questions, never ending. I didn't want to remember, but I was told I had to. I feel so many girls like myself, regardless of age, have had this happen to them at some point. They kept it in, too embarrassed to tell what had happened, and let justice be done. This happened to me, and I want to do my part to prevent it from happening to others. I'm glad I had the strength, even at 5, to do the right thing. He was brought to justice, and the scars that he gave me will now have a chance to heal. Don't keep it to yourself. There are people in this world who are wired to do bad things, and if you don't expose them to who they are, then they will do their damage to others in the future.
This is Alex from Math 10. He's very good at math, English, and science. He uses his talents to help those others around him. He won't give us the answers to the math problems he's working on with others, but he will stick with them until they are on the right track. Did you know he is also a distance runner? He is, a good one. He uses his skills and his knowledge there too, continually helping his teammates at their times, not just his. He also recently took an interest in dancing. While watching America's Best Dance Crew, he and his brother took an interest right away. The flips and tricks and moves they would do were awesome. He looked up tutorials of breakdancing online and tried to emulate them. Even though he would fall multiple times, he kept getting up. He kept getting up and trying until he could do it. He has performed his dances before. Do you think we could get him to perform again? And he is destined for a great future. He's lived life, he is living life, and he has a lot of things to say. Alex?
I plan on working hard to get my future. It isn't easy though, as many of you may know, or may have already experienced. It can be harder when you're Hispanic. I think there are a lot of people out there who think our culture, we as people, are nothing but field workers. It's a stereotype. Stereotypes like, we are here to take everyone's jobs. Stereotypes like, we all are here illegally. Stereotypes like, Hispanics only eat beans. Stereotypes have the power to demean and isolate. To give in to this mislogic is to disregard your neighbors as individuals. Instead, get to know the individual. Know your neighbor before you try to tear down their house. Maybe I'll start some new stereotypes. Hispanics are great runners. Hispanics are very good at math, English, and science. Hispanics are valedictorians. This is Tracy from Mapton. If there was a movie about her life, it would be titled Nothing But Smiles. Why do you think that is? It is actually because she's tough. No matter what happens in her life, that smile keeps her and those around her strong. Whether it's sad moments or exciting ones, it will always help in the moment. It helped when the grandmother Esperanza fell ill with colon cancer, and again, when the grandma Chona got diagnosed with cancer a year later. They were the women Tracy looked up to. Before she knew the power of a smile, tears and hatred were her only options for adversity. Seeing her beautiful and strong grandmothers helpless on the bed brought only despair. Her grandma Esperanza got better, but her grandma Chona didn't make it. The doctors had given her 2 months, but Tracy was robbed of most of that time. 1 week was all her grandmother had left. Ay, mi cachetitos, her grandmother called her. Smile, just smile. She died last January. She was the only person Tracy knew who only wore a smile. Tracy?
My grandmother taught me a lot about our culture, the tenets that we should all hold dear. I see our generation aren't listening well to our grandmas and grandpas. We get sucked into the unimportant drama in our lives, so much so that we forget to listen. I can see little by little our culture is fading away, but not like you might think. I think about the colors our culture has to offer, the happiness from our dances strengthens the beliefs we share. My grandmother taught me so much, from how to cook at a young age to never forget to dance. Respect your elders. They have more to give than Google or Facebook does. Our grandparents are trying to teach us about our traditions and our cultures. They teach us so that one day, we too, as elders, with the respect of our children and their children, will be able to pass it on to the ones we love. It's not only about the food and dancing, but about the family time we take to share those things that we hold so dear.
I'm Miguel from Acton. I hope you will always be a good example for others, especially your little sister.
I am Joanna from Mapton. I hope you will never tolerate abuse in any form.
I'm Sergio from Everett. I hope you'll have the strength to help your family with whatever it is they need.
I am Haley from Warden. I hope you never judge anybody based on their skin color.
I'm San Juanita from Mapton. I hope you never let yourself down. Be your harshest critic.
I'm Tony from Mapton. I hope you achieve all the goals you set for yourself. Work hard for what you deserve.
I'm Michael from Apton. I hope you always go beyond what is asked of you. Challenge yourself every day.
I'm Jess from Apton. I hope you know life isn't always fair. Don't let that get in your way.
I am Christian from Everett. I hope you recognize the sacrifices your parents have made for you. Don't get stuck in anger.
I'm Myrna from Everett. I hope you can weather through the bad times, because the great ones are sure to come.
I am George from Mapton. I hope you recognize and honor your culture. We are all one community.
I'm Levi from Warden. I hope when you get knocked down, you can stand back up. Keep that head held high.
I am Addie from Warden. I hope you remain curious about our culture. Help me tear down the barriers.
I am Christian from Everett. I hope you always honor your mothers and fathers. They help shape you.
I am Jose from Apton. I hope you capture the moments that define you. Don't let them slip.
I am Vanessa from Apton. I hope you can see how much damage a bully can do. Heal, don't hurt.
I'm Roberto from Everett. I hope you make your grandparents proud. Give yourself to your future.
I am Bailey from Terrace. I hope you are never afraid to be brave. Don't be afraid to speak up.
I am Alex from Apton. I hope you avoid harmful stereotypes. Know your neighbor before you tear down their house.
I am Tracy from Mapton. I hope you always respect your elders. They have so much to give.
These are just a few of our stories we have to share.
Stories that have meaning to us.
And may have meaning to you.
I hope you can share your story one day too.
Be it funny.
Or tragic.
Or hard to tell.
Shared on a big stage.
So many people can hear.
And learn.
And connect.
And empathize.
Las Memorias.
Our memoirs.
Thank you for your ears.
Your hearts.
Your understanding.
Thank you for now being a part of us.
Our growth.
Our memoirs.